weapons that are being used to cause disease and the depopulation of the earth. Number 8, I put down The Great Controversy by E.G. White. Now, Great Controversy is mostly history, but goes into prophecy, talking. Well, it starts with the destruction of Jerusalem in A.D. 70. It covers the period of the Dark Ages, and it talks about the reformers and all the persecution that happened during the Dark Ages, up until the second coming of Christ. Number 7, I put down Cold Word Babylon by P.D. Stewart. This also talks about the Jesuits and also many secret societies. Talks about Bill Clinton and how many presidents and many individuals in government positions have gone or are members of secret societies. Exposes quite a lot about the Catholic Church and the Jesuit order. Number 6, 50 Years in the Church of Rome, and the word church in the title of that book is actually in inverted commas. And this book is by Charles Chiniquy, and obviously by putting the word church in inverted commas, Charles Chiniquy was trying to say that the Church of Rome or the Catholic Church is not really a church. Now, Charles Chiniquy was a priest, I believe, from going from memory, I think he was a priest in the Catholic Church for 22 years. But he was in the Catholic Church for 50 years. And he befriended Abe Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, because Abe Lincoln was actually a lawyer before he became president. And Abraham Lincoln defended Charles Chiniquy in court for no fee when Charles Chiniquy was accused of molesting a woman, which was a false accusation. So Abe Lincoln won the case for Charles Chiniquy, and because of that, Abe Lincoln was a marked man. He wasn't marked when he became president. He was already a marked man before he was president, because there were Jesuits in the court that would have liked to see Charles Chiniquy go to jail, but Lincoln prevented that. There's a lot more history in the book which talks about who was really ultimately responsible for Abe Lincoln's assassination, and Charles Chiniquy puts the blame squarely on the Jesuits. Number 5, Double Cross. Not to be confused with there's also a comic book called Double Cross by Alberto Rivera. This is by Sam and Chuck Giancana. Now this book is about the JFK assassination, and it talks about how Sam Giancana, not the one who wrote the book, but I believe this Sam and this Sam who wrote the book was, along with Chuck, was a nephew of Sam Giancana, who was a mob boss in America. So the book talks about how the mafia and the CIA were behind JFK's assassination. Number 4, Alberto by Alberto Rivera. It's a story of Alberto's upbringing and how he joined the Jesuit order and everything that he found out, including the protection of homosexuals in the Catholic Church, and how he left the Jesuit order. Number 3, The Secret Terrorists, also by Pastor Bill Hughes. This is the first book that he wrote, also talking about things like the sinking of the Titanic, which was a planned event to bring about the establishment of the Federal Reserve in America, from which a lot of the funds that went to the First World War came from, because you can't have war or revolution without money. And then he also talks about the Lincoln assassination. I think he also covers the JFK assassination, many important events in that book. When he says the book is called The Secret Terrorists, and obviously that's in reference to the Jesuits. So he wrote The Enemy Unmasked because when he wrote this book, there were some people that challenged him and said what he had said in this book was not true. So he gave them more evidence in his second book. Number 2, I put down Rulers of Evil by F. Tapasosi. When he says rulers of evil, he's actually talking about the Jesuit order. And I can see now, for those watching, you can see that there's a lot of reference in these books that I'm talking about to the Jesuit order and secret societies. Basically, that's how the world is run. It's the world is run by the Catholic Church through powerful secret societies. The most powerful one being the Jesuit order, who actually run the whole show. But you have to read the books for you to come to that conclusion. Don't just believe what I'm saying. At number 1, we've got the KJV version of the Bible. I'd say that's my favorite book. And why I put that at number 1, because it's the best reference book. Specifically that version. But I wouldn't say I'm a KJV only person. I believe that Bibles that were translated from the what's called the Textus Receptus manuscripts, which are the majority majority accurate texts, are good Bibles. One of them is the Geneva, obviously also the KJV, but the Geneva as well. Those are good Bibles. The KJV is also said to be poetic. So just so everyone knows, most of the modern day Bible translations, which I'm talking about English translations, they were translated from Roman Catholic manuscripts. The 2 major ones being Codex Vaticanus and Codex Sinaiticus. Now, Codex Vaticanus was actually, in quotes, discovered in the Vatican Library in 1844. So that was basically it's a forged document. That, along with the Sinaiticus, were used to translate modern day Bibles, and they have a lot of inaccuracies in them, and they promote such things as bringing down Jesus and making him less than what he is. Even though in the KJV we clearly understand that Jesus is the Son of God, which makes him God. So those are my top 20 books to read. There are many other books as well that I've left out because otherwise maybe this video would have been too long if I'd spoken about my top 30 books to read. That I'm just trying to keep it short. So there are other books such as the Footprints of the Jesuits by, I can't remember his full name, but Thompson or Thomas. And then there's also books by John Dowling. And obviously there's the history of Protestant. No, it's not history of. It's to do with Protestantism by Daubigny. That's also quite a large book as well, with a lot of history in it. There are other books by Ellen White as well that you can read. But the ones I've mentioned, those are my favorite books. So I hope for all those are searching for truth, I'm hoping that will help you out, so that you can, you have at least some references as to where to start if you're trying to understand what's going on in the world, because we've got a lot going on at the moment now already. Where today is the 4th of January 2025, and we're already hearing of terrorist attacks in America. We've had these UFOs in America. Just a few years ago we had COVID. We had the war in Ukraine. What's this all about, and where is it leading? For everyone that wants to understand, so that you are not caught unawares with what's coming as well, and that you're not deceived. I'm hoping that this will help everyone.